Hello, my name is Diego Lizarazo, and this is the fifth video of this tutorial to create my first game with Construct 2. In the first four, we added some elements, some behaviors. We're starting to check how to use the event sheet and to add some logic to our game, and also some game over conditions. In this one, we're going to check score and a couple more elements. So stay tuned. So at this point we already have an interesting game. We already have a game over. We know how to restart it and to move around and how to create random platforms. But one thing that we're missing is the score. We are still not checking how many points we have. So to do that, we will need to use again the event sheet, but also we need to introduce a new element, and that is the global variable. So a variable, you may or may not know, is some piece of memory where we store a value or a group of values. In this case, we need to store a number that is going to be our score. So to create a new variable, we just go here to the upper side of the event sheet. We right click on with our mouse and we can select add global variable. We can name it however we want, so I'm going to say score. We can decide if it's going to be a number or a text. In this case is a number, and the initial value. So usually you start with 0. It's quite common with games or with any score in general. So I'm going to leave it like that, and also you can put any description. So the score of the player, or whatever you want to put. Blah blah. Okay, so now we have it here. But if we start playing at this point, we don't have anything that changes the score. We just have a 0, and we're not displaying the score on screen. So I'm going to start with that. We have our score here, but I'm also going to use a label, a piece of text. So I'm going to double click text. I'm going to put it here in the middle. I'm going to use, I don't know, blue. It's a good color. I'm going to say the initial value is a score 0. So we have it here. So that looks okay. But if we run again, she's going to be saying all the time score 0, score 0. We are not connecting our label. I'm going to name it a score label with our variable. We have to say at some point, hey, show at every moment in this label this value. They are two completely different things. We could show in this label whatever we want, hello world, and this is my cool game, but we have to say, hey, put the score. And at some point we're going to start changing the score, so we have to say, hey, update the label constantly and show me the score. So I'm going to add an event that is system, and it's going to be kind of similar to this one. The difference is that the first one that we created was every 1 second. This one is going to be every tick. What is this thing of every tick? Every time that the game cycle goes and execute all these events, is going to do whatever action we say. So this is almost like always. This when almost equates always. So I'm going to say action, and I'm going to update our score label. So that is called here set text. So the format that I want to follow is score, and this part in between the quotes is going to be constant. We're not going to change it at any moment. And this part, I'm going to say concatenate. That's the symbol for concatenate, to join with something else. And then I'm going to say score. This is our variable. So this part is always to remain the same, score. But this other part is indicating we're going to take the value of the variable that we have here in the variable score. But if we run again, it's still going to say 0. Because we were never changing the value of the score. So I can say, hey, I can use this one every second, or I can use another one. So just for the sake of keeping it short, I'm going to use this one. I'm going to say every second, on top of creating 3 platforms, I'm going to add to the score. So I say add action, system, and then in global and local variables, I'm going to add to a score. By default this one, I'm just going to say 10 to make it more interesting. So every second I'm going to add 10. So the longer that I'm able to survive, the higher the score. So as you can see, now I'm beginning to augment the score until I die. But we're going to have another problem here, and that is that if I restart the game, like how we were doing before, we started again at 30, not at 0. So now we have 90. For a second it's going to show 0, and then it's going to say like 100. So that's kind of fair. It would be kind of cool if it restarted at 0. So we're missing something. And is to change here that when we restart the game, we also should reset the global variables. So I'm going to add that. System reset global variables. I'm going to move it here before the restart layout, and we're going to test it. So I make a score 30, 40, then I lose 50, then I restart the game, and since 0, 10, 20, 40, so it's working correctly. Now, just to add a small thing here, I'm going to add a little bonus from time to time that is going to appear, and is going to add another addition to the score. So I'm going to double click, add another sprite, and hey, I don't know, well, I should have something like a smoothie. Yes, the smoothie 3. Open. Yes, this is something that I use in some of my games. So I'm going to put it here, and I'm going to call it bonus. And I'm going to add a similar condition to like every X seconds. So every X seconds, every 4 seconds, I'm going to create a smoothie. So I'm creating a bonus, a layout, well, a smoothie in our layout, and basically I just filled this really quick. That is the random that we already checked in our previous videos, random in the X and the Y. So this is going to create it anywhere in the screen. And on top of that, I'm going to say when you have a collision between the player and the bonus, I'm going to add something else to the score. So I'm going to add 50 to the score. And I am also going to make this smoothie disappear to kind of know that we were able to get it. So let's try this. So we wait for our smoothie to appear somewhere. There. So it added something like 100. Let's try to do it again. There. So we are adding here. So at this point we have a quite interesting game, nothing too complicated, and we have many elements that we can improve, like that final interaction with the bonus. But it's kind of interesting how in less than an hour we have a common game that we can publish in the Windows Store or for the Windows Phone. So I think you have a nice base, and I'm going to release the file that you can use for this. So please comment on this video, let me know what you think, and I hope that I can see you in other tutorials. Thank you.